I think we're live. I'm not sure if anybody's watching yet. Hopefully, somebody decides to show up. But I was a little bit late. So, if anybody is in the pre show or whatever this you want to call it, the pre show, I'll call it the pre show. Hey, we got somebody watching. What is going on? Where is the chat? Hey, we got a few people watching. Yeah. There we go. Next time, give top billing to Sony. Sorry, buddy. Next time, Sony needs to earn it. Oh. I'm just serious. No, Sony. What? We just have not seen much Sony news. Oh, this shouldn't be on the screen. Let's see if I can get this off the screen. Oh. What is going on? Anybody in the chat want to chat? I'm not texting. I'm going to check what the lag is like here. Is there a huge lag? I guess nobody's really talking yet, so it's kind of hard to say. Let's see. Why is it not working? Oh, there I am. Let's see. Why is it not working? Okay, it's not that bad a lag. What's going on? Is anybody here? Somebody's watching. Is anybody out there? If you're here and you want to hit that like button, that would be greatly appreciated. Let's see. Okay. Hello. I see a few people here. Drop in the comments. Thank you for hitting the like button. Drop in the comments. Let's get some talking, some interactions going back and forth. Hey, there's another like. Wow, it's my lucky day here. So Long Rider, he said next time give Sony top billing, and I said next time Sony earn it. No, there's just not much Sony news going on. I mean, they did just announce that lens. I had a video about it. I actually pre-ordered it. I'm pretty excited about it whenever it will come. But overall, it's been very slow for pretty much everybody. Hello from Malaysia. Well, hello to you too. I've been to Malaysia. Very beautiful. A lot of great architecture, like really beautiful buildings and temples. It's really nice. So hello. Thank you for joining us. So anybody get any new cameras lately or any new lenses that y'all want to talk about before we get into our main subjects? Yeah, that's where I went. Kulala. I can't even say it right now. I swear I could say it when I was there. Kuala Lumpur. Yeah, that's where we went. That I think that's like the main. Is that like the capital city? I believe it is. My wife is from Vietnam, and we went over to Malaysia. She had a cousin that was living there, so it was really nice, very beautiful. Went to a really cool temple that was like in the back of a cave. You had to go up all these stairs. It was really, really incredible stuff. It might have been, there was like monkeys walking around, and you could like, feed the monkeys, but I'm not sure if that was a good idea. Hello, if you're here and you have not dropped a like, or if you want to communicate, that would be nice too. So today I'm going to be talking a little bit about this new camera that was registered from Canon. It is a some kind of cinema camera. We're not exactly sure what it is, but Canon rumors are they think that it may be the C50, which is kind of interesting because I'm not sure where that camera is going to fit in anymore, considering just the shrinking. I don't know. Oh, huge lag. Not again. Okay. All right. Are you sure? Are you? I guess you're watching live. Mm. I guess you're watching live. I'm testing myself here. I'm testing myself here. Wow, that is about, was that 30 seconds or so? I'm testing myself here. Wow, that is about, was that 30 seconds or so? Don't like that. I'm not sure what to do to fix it, to be honest. This happened to me a couple times ago, and it was working really good for like last week, but I hate the big lag. It kind of makes it like incoherent a little bit. So what I might have to do is talk to, or at least go on and talk about some of the subjects, and why I'm talking about the subjects. Maybe just be throwing in your questions and I'll catch up to them. That might be what the best bet is. Yes, it is the capital. Sounds like Batu Caves. Maybe it was. The monkeys steal your drinks. Yeah. Huge lag. Okay. Good morning, John. Welcome, welcome. Okay. I'm hearing that there's a pretty big lag, so hopefully it will somewhat resolve itself. I'm not really sure what I can do. I have it on low lag mode. Let me try this really quick. I actually turned it up to use max resolution, so it looks better. It's at 1080p instead of the 720p, but maybe that's slowing things down. So let me try this. I'm gonna try to drop the resolution, and maybe it'll speed me up a little bit. Sorry about that. I don't know if it's a YouTube thing. Shouldn't be my internet. I'm not sure. All right. Let me know here if it gets a little bit better. How are you doing this morning, John? Yeah, I don't know if the internet's slow. Sometimes it's a YouTube thing as well. Shouldn't be a slow internet because we have Comcast, which is one of the fastest things we can get down here, and so usually it does really good. Can watch 4K videos and whatever, but excuse me. Okay, about 20 seconds. Maybe it'll start getting better. Hopefully, I hope it's not too disjointed. If so, I might not talk as long as usual. Glad to hear you're doing good. Okay, so if it is too disjointed, what I will do is I will go and kind of just start talking about some of the subjects or the main topics quicker now. So it could be that I just turned off that 1080p and they sped up, because it could be this app as well. I'm not sure. So cool. I'm glad it's speeding up a little bit. If you're here and you haven't dropped a like, let's hit a like so we can get this out to more people. Maybe we can get a bigger conversation going. I was not actually planning on doing a live chat today. Usually I've been doing it about every other week, but really I could not see that there was many news stories that were, I don't know, worth a full video. I would rather communicate back and forth. So if I don't have a good take, I don't want to waste anybody's time. I just want to be able to chat and enjoy ourselves and be able to actually, go through things together, because I don't want to just make a video based upon nothing as far as that goes. So I would rather live stream, enjoy each other's company, and then we could talk about the subjects together and maybe actually come up with better conclusions than I could on my own. At least that's my idea. All right, so right here, we'll go to this first, because I think this is maybe nothing. All right, so I'm going to go to the first thing. So this is the reason why Sony didn't get top billing here, Long Rider. Okay, so this is, do we call it the DxO mark, or is there like a different name for it? Anyways, this is the sensor results, an incredibly well-rounded hybrid and highly attractive option for all sorts of genres. So it scored a 97, which is is very good, apparently. They say it is very similar to the A7 III, but it does have slightly better dynamic range. So it activates starting at 400 ISO, the readout mode, providing a dynamic range boost, while the A7 III activated 800 ISO. So I don't know if this really matters that much to that many people. I mean, I think maybe it's just more of like a bragging rights situation. Personally, I wasn't super impressed by this sensor. I mean, it seemed like there was a lot of rolling shutter on this sensor from what I saw, but maybe that was just them not putting enough processing power to it. Maybe it wasn't the sensor's fault. Overall, I think the A7 IV is, a really good camera, but I don't know if this score actually means anything. Maybe you guys can say in the chat below if this actually really means anything, or if this is just kind of this one company's thought process. I mean, I've seen these things come up. I think Jared. Okay, I said it right. I always mix up Gerald Undone and Jared Polin. It mixes me up. But I think he really doesn't care about this little score, just kind of thinks it's arbitrary. One thing that I thought was interesting is I looked it up, and I believe the A7S III has an 86 score or an 87, so it was very low compared to a lot of the cameras I was seeing on there. Personally, I love my A7S III, and I'm surprised it would score so low, but I'm not sure if there is something particular they're looking for. I know with the A7S III, the rolling shutter is pretty much not there. I think the dynamic range is great. Lower light is obviously incredible. So I don't know. I'm surprised it would score so low. So to me, it makes me feel like this sensor test isn't that big of a deal. That's what I'm thinking. So maybe I got some people that are commenting. Maybe the lag is slowing down. If you are, just be commenting through this thing. So it says it shines here at landscapes. So you get 14.7 EVs maximum dynamic range, which is pretty impressive. I mean, whenever a company advertises 15 stops, and we don't know 100% real world, but they are testing it supposedly. But usually when you get a camera company advertising 15 stops or 15 plus stops, you can expect that it's going to be lower. But the fact that it is supposedly 14.7, which is very close to the advertisement or advertised mark, is pretty impressive in my mind. All right, let's see what the chat is saying here. Okay, the chat is not chatting. Come on, chat. Don't let me down. I'd play that song if I wouldn't get a copyright strike and get kicked off of YouTube. Anybody here in the chat want to chat? Do we care about those rankings whatsoever? Is it a big deal? Do y'all put any weight on it, or do you think it's kind of an arbitrary thing that actually doesn't give any real measure of a camera whatsoever? What do y'all think? Join me. Oh, there we go. Do we really care about the DX? That was basically the question. Do we really care? Does it much matter? I think it's more bragging rights. Well, hello from Cambodia. That's awesome. Well, glad you're here. Nice to see you. I'm glad you're here. It's funny, we have someone from Malaysia and Cambodia, so y'all are right there on the same time. What is it? I mean, very geographically close. I think that's like an hour and a half, depending on where you are in Cambodia. I think it's about an hour and a half flight to Malaysia, so very close, if that. Okay. John says, I'm sorry, walked away to pack a camera bag going to my grandson's 5th birthday party. DxO rankings, don't care. I understand. Yeah, that's why, I mean, I didn't want to make a whole video about that, to be real. There's other subjects, but that's one of the subjects that I wanted to talk back and forth with people about. Um, so congratulations. Well, enjoy your grandson's 5th birthday party. Uh, I'm guessing it's today sometime. That's that's gonna be really cool. So you're gonna take your camera and get some good shots and have some good memories. Um, DxO strikes me as a bunch of blackmailing camera manufacturers for money. That's funny. Meaningless. Yeah. I mean, I I don't feel like I've ever seen it like people really say, "Oh, they got this score," and it necessarily matches the reviews of what the camera is about. I mean, no offense to Nikon, because Nikon definitely has made some great cameras, especially as of late. But I mean, I know a lot of the Z6 and Z9 or Z6 and Z7 were getting incredible scores, and it's kind of confusing. I guess one camera company can get something different out of it slightly, but they were using Sony sensors, which didn't make sense for it to get a different score on a Sony sensor than Sony getting on it. So I thought that was interesting. It didn't take into account the other features of the camera, which, you know, at the time wasn't as good of autofocus. Uh, so um, so yeah, I don't. I think it's okay. So he says, John says, thanks. I'd care about a ranking slightly if I were in the buying market. Otherwise, it's about bragging rights for companies and fanboys. Yeah, I agree. I agree. That's why it's just one of the stories, getting it over fast. DxO rankings give you a small window into sensor slash lens, uh, but it's not the end all be all, just another avenue of research. Well, that's a good way of putting it. Appreciate that. Okay, well, let's go ahead and go to the next topic here. Unless y'all have more to say on that or anything else, y'all can always ask me anything you would like here on the open live streams. Is the lag quite a bit better now, or is it still very distracting? I'm checking my own lag here. Let's see here. All right, let's go back. So I wanted to go over here to oh my goodness, Simon had me confused. So I thought I had like a big news story. Just side rant. Simon from Ordinary Filmmaker, he brought out a video talking about the uh, Nikon Z8 and was talking about all these rumors about the Nikon Z8 supposedly having the same sensor. You know, it's a rumor, but maybe having the same sensor as the A7R4, and talking about how it's 6K, and he said it's from mirrorlessrumors.com, and I'm like, oh, nice. Okay, we got some we got a meaty story. I can go research it and give my own take about it. And then I went to mirrorlessrumors.com and I did not find it anywhere. So I'm thinking that maybe it was an older story that maybe he missed in the past and he wanted to go explore and go back to. But either way, I didn't want to go copy him on that story because apparently it was an older story. If it was breaking news, I would have went over it as well. Um, but yeah, I thought it was an interesting take that he had on it. So, but anyways, now that I'm in mirrorless rumors, one thing that did stick out to me, because I love Fujifilm and I really want them to do good and do better. And in general, I think that they bring a lot to the market. I like their heritage. I like the way that I just like their looks in general. I like the way their cameras feel in the hands and the images you get out of them. That being said, they haven't, you know, caught up with their lenses as much, and their autofocus isn't quite there usually. Anyways, so one thing that was really cool is the GFX, which is their medium format, maybe getting a stacked sensor, which will be impressive if they can do a stacked a BSI CMOS sensor, a stacked layered sensor on a medium format, which should make it way faster. So that is pretty cool. They said they're testing that. More interesting to me, because I'm not really interested in full frame or medium format that much yet, is they say that the X-H2 is going to have a brand new 26 megapixel sensor. If you're not familiar, the XH line should be, at least in theory, their flagship APS-C cameras. To me, they were kind of ahead of the game. The XT4, I believe it came out in 2020, or was it early 2021? It came out, I think it was 2020. Early 2020, it had 10-bit 4K 60. And I believe actually the year before that, they had the XT3, which also had the same specs. Now, what they added in the XT4 was, I think, some just user interfaces stuff. And then they also added Ibis, but their Ibis isn't that great either way. Yeah, so to me, I think it's really interesting. I'm very excited to see what they do with their flagship. If their APS-C cameras in specs have been basically 2 or 3 years ahead of the competition, I would like to see what they can do with a flagship. But one thing that was really interesting to me here is not just that it has a 26 megapixel sensor. I've been hearing this and it doesn't ring true with me, but Fuji Rumors seems to be very confident about this. They say that there's going to be 2 X-H2s. So one is going to come with a new 26 megapixel X-Trans 4 sensor. And they're also going to have one with a 40 megapixel sensor. So it's going to be new as well. He said, I have no doubts that my sources are 100% accurate, and you should not doubt them either, which is, how are they going to market this? Because it doesn't make sense for them to say XH. I mean, it's definitely not going to be both called the XH2. So it might be XH2R for high resolution or something like that. And then just have your standard XH2, which would be more hybrid, I'm guessing. I'm just a little confused by how they're trying to market it, unless it's just like in the same body area. So, but I think this is interesting. I'm super excited. I would think that at 40 megapixels, they can give you somewhere around 8K. I think usually it takes close to 45, but maybe with the aspect ratio, APS-C, maybe somebody can let me know if you can get 8K out of that. But 26 megapixels, you could be looking at 6K, a little over 6K. If you wanted it in the video area, I'm assuming that the 26 megapixels will have a better low light and maybe a little bit better on the dynamic range. But of course, that's just me speculating. So it's really cool. I'm excited to see when they come out with this. I actually expected it last year, but with all the delays, it made sense that it's this year. I just wonder when we're going to be hearing about it, because everything seems to be getting delayed, especially Sony. Thank you very much, Sony. All right, let's go back to the chat and see if we got some people talking here. Okay. Meanwhile, the prices of Blackmagic Pocket Cinema cameras, 1080p / made in 2012, have been shooting up because it looks more filmic, not razor sharp like modern cameras. Yeah, I don't know exactly how to feel about that idea. I mean, I get the filmic look, or that you want filmic looks. And I have a diffuser sensor, sorry, what is it called? A mist, a filter on my A7S III, and I actually have the detail. I think it was turned down all the way for a while, so it kind of gives it a little softer look, and you can add it more in post. So, and generally speaking, I like the more filmic look. But you can do that with, I feel like you can do that with the right LUT and color grade. So I personally wouldn't much matter about that. A lot of it's more quality of life, but interesting enough, if you're somebody who can do more of the, because I'm pretty sure that's a manual focus lens, I'm pretty sure, or lens camera. I doubt it has Ibis, micro four thirds. It can look really good for a particular way, but I have not seen that it's been shooting up. Black Pro Mist, yeah. I have the, man, I love this stuff. Sorry. Side tangent. If I can find it. Yeah. I haven't been able to really dive into it. I just thought it was super cool. This is the free will like kit where you get like 7 different ones and they all mix and match. I mean, it's not perfect, and I'm, from the reviews that I've seen and people that really tested it out, of course you're going to get some color shifting and vignetting, but overall, I just think it's worth it for the convenience, at least how I want to shoot, and for the price tag, and looks pretty good. I enjoy it, but most of the time I just use the mist. Okay, so John said, yeah, not one of Simon's best videos, just filling in a slow period with unsubstantiated rumor. Even he kind of debunked it in a reply to me. It's funny. Yeah, I didn't go too much into it. I like listened to it. I was like, oh, that sounds pretty interesting stuff. And then later on, I went to go look it up myself and get my own take, because sometimes I steal homework from Simon because he's very good at finding stories. But yeah, that was an old story. um, yes. Yeah, I don't know. It just, to me, that was kind of the thing. Like that was in my mind that was maybe going to be a headline story. I was actually thinking of possibly doing a Camera Wars video yesterday, but it didn't have that many stories to do, and a lot of the stories that I was going to cover, the what is it, Frono's Photo already covered it with the Photo News Fix, so I just did not want to add to it if I didn't have a big story. So what do y'all think about the Fuji? Are y'all anybody interested in Fuji? Do y'all like Fuji? Do you not? Not Richard says, I have the Tamron Trio with my A7 IV. I am totally happy. Those are really, really good lenses, especially for the price range, which is nuts. I have, here we go. I have the 27 to 28, 2.8. I actually, when I had the A7R4 originally, I had the 28, excuse me, 28 to 75, and it was super, super sharp. They're very light. They're at 2.8. Really good stuff. It just depends on your needs. Now, I do think I'm gonna sell this, and I actually pre-ordered the F4 that is from Sony, the new one with the power zoom. And the reason I did that, I kind of explain it more in the video, but just cliff notes. I really miss the full focal length that I get from, I have a 15 to 35 up there. I just got so used to it that I didn't want to give that up. When I got this, I felt somewhat limited, and I know some people just completely shoot primes and you get a great look out of that. But I'm not necessarily just a photographer, or I'm probably less of a photographer than doing video work. And I like to have the option to be able to, I barely took the 15 to 35 off my camera. And with this 17 to 28, I just feel slightly limited. So even though it's an F4, and there's definitely pros and cons to which is better in which situation, I really like the power zoom because, like I said, video, and I also like the extra focal length. And if I'm going to, vlog or a lot of wide angle stuff, I really don't care if it's 2.8 anyways. Those are just my thoughts. But good lenses. I actually have the Tamron 35 to 150 coming whenever. It's back ordered. I ordered it about, I don't know, 3.5 weeks ago. So I'm excited about it. John says, I've never shot Fuji, but a little smaller system for walking around would be nice. But I don't want 2 sets of lenses. If Canon launches an APS-C, I'll be interested. Well, we were supposed to in March be, sorry. We were supposed to be in March getting a A7, A7. I'm so confused. There's so many acronyms here. An Eos R7. So we were supposed to be getting the Eos R7 announced in March, according to Canon rumors. But they did say that it was kind of subject to change because of just all the supply stuff. But that being said, it still seems like it is will be here soon enough. And I've always thought that the A7R or whatever it is, the R7 was going to be an APS-C camera, and that's how they've always referred to it, as an a APS-C camera. And so to me, that's what Canon Rumors believes it to be. And then I believe that Simon said that was it Peter? Peter actually reached out to him and said that it is going to, or he reached out, vice versa, I'm not sure, and said that it is going to be an APS-C camera. So we'll see if the R7 is. I had somebody comment on my video saying that they were an insider. So whatever that means, I have no clue if that's true or not. They said that the R7 was a full frame camera and not an APS-C camera. So we will see. Okay, so John, yeah, you're basically saying what I just said. So he said, I'm not convinced the R7 will be cropped because I see no indication of crop lenses in development. Yeah, I don't know. You may be right on that. I do know that I did, like I said, I had somebody who commented on my video saying that they're an insider and saying it was full frame. Hey, Long Rider, what's up? Thumbs up. Is the lag too bad? Are y'all getting, is the lag slowed back down, or is it tolerable? So yeah, let's hope that the R7 is a cropped sensor, because I think that would be great. So hopefully it's not going to be too long. So the R7, it would be interesting because we did see a lot of patents. Patents? Am I saying that right? Sounds right. We did see a lot of patents for a different, looked like RF I think they called them lenses. They had a lot of different focal lengths that made more sense for a cropped sensor, but we have never heard if that was really going anywhere. And according to Canon Rumors at different times, it was according to Canon Rumors at different times, they said they're not going to be bringing out an APS-C lenses. The way I believe, or my thought process is, and I know not everybody's going to agree with me here, I think that obviously one of the benefits to an APS-C camera is the size, and also getting smaller lenses is great, and I understand that philosophy. That being said, I do think that having an R7 that has just extra crop with extra megapixels is still beneficial. If you can get, say, let's call it 24 megapixels, I think it would be closer to 30, but let's just say it's 24 megapixels cropped in at 1.5. It just gives you extra reach on your lenses, and you don't lose as much of the details. So I personally think it works to still. I can see if you're talking about a more consumer based. I'm not saying there's not benefits either way, but I can see if it's a more of a consumer based camera, and people are wanting it more for not just vlogging, but a smaller carry around, and there's definitely benefits there. But I do think that just having the extra reach and the extra room, giving you that extra zoom, to me, that's already a benefit, whether or not you have the lenses or not. So I know, John, I think you disagree with me on that, but I think you've kind of went back and forth in your thinking with that. So kind of wonder where you are right now. Do you think there is still a benefit to the idea that you might have a better cropped, a faster cropped image, and with higher megapixels, even if you're using the same glass? I don't know. It would make an 800 a 1200, right? I believe that's how math works. Long Rider, I was just making morning pizza. Hi, John. APS-C is not that much smaller. Morning pizza sounds great right now, about now. FYI. Sorry. APS-C is not that much smaller. I had second A6600s and half a dozen APS-C lenses. I traded them in for the A7C and the 23/26 f2 primes. 35. I was like 26. Sorry, I was confused there too. 35 and 65 primes. Yeah, I'm kind of with you, Long Rider, on that. I don't necessarily think that I don't think it's game changer, a deal breaker. I think that there is benefits to the cropped camera, whether or not you have cropped lenses or not. So I'm with you on that. But yeah, I mean, there is some size difference, but really not with Sony much anymore. I mean, sorry, I know this is a small lens, or this is a wide angle, but this is 2.8. You know, this is light. This is, you know, about as light as a lot of about as light as it's Tamron, but it's about as light as a lot of the can't even think, APS-C lenses that I've seen, crop sensor lenses I've seen, and also Tamron with their Trinity. I mean, they're all very light. The 28 to 75 and what is it, 70 to 180. They're all super light lenses and 2.8. So very good stuff. And I mean, if you had that on a cropped sensor, I think that would be great. Okay. The full frame files are much more. I'm thinking much more flexible and varying light. So are you saying from the thing? Okay. APS-C cropping is fine for wildlife, but you lose at the wide end, so that's a bad for street and travel shooting. So depending on use case, Canon traditionally crops at 1.6. Smaller file sizes can be important too. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Okay, so let's see. Richard says, I can see all the camera companies are going to announce more camera and lenses, but the supply chain problem is going to make the availability look like a Chinese fire drill. I can't remember what that it means, like where people are trying to grab something fast. I can't remember. I think I've heard that before. I'm not sure if yeah, anyways, not going to go into that in detail. But yeah, so it is going to be very, very hard to get these things. And I pre-ordered, like I said, the F4 of 16 to 35. They're saying that it's shipping out in June, which is terrible. June 24th, I believe it is. And in Europe, they're saying they're getting it in May. So I'm just hoping against all odds that they will actually ship it out a little early here, because I leave for Vietnam on June 1st. And I would love to have that lens on my trip. It's kind of hurting me. Okay, so he says, John, I found the additional reach is mitigated because the noise is almost 2 times more than full frame if you shoot early in the morning and late in the day. In good light, APS-C is ideal. Chaotic. Yes, I kind of got it. It means chaotic, somewhat inappropriate by today's PC standards. That's kind of why I stopped talking about it. Not that anybody's whatever. It is what it is, and it's just not something that I want to say personally on the channel. But it's not like I'm not like judging anybody for saying whatever they want to say. But I know what you meant. That's why I was like, I'm not sure if this will get me crucified here. Is crucified bad? That's a religious thing. I mean, 2,000 years ago, we got it. It's funny. Yeah, I figured it was kind of a scramble. Yeah, I got the analogy, and I'd heard it before. So, anyways, but it's funny. Yeah, the PC standards they're hard. They're hard to deal with nowadays. I mean, I'm not saying that they don't come from a place of good intentions, but I think sometimes they go so far that they don't make human beings comfortable with other human beings. And I don't know if I don't think that's political in saying that necessarily. I just think that overall, I think if you're comfortable with people, and ideally, I feel like this is ideal. I'm not saying it's something that happens in practice, But ideal, I think we're all supposed to somewhat look at each other in general as equals, as humans. And it would be great if we could get to the place where we really don't see race and it doesn't affect us in a social, in any of our social constructs. But it does still. But ideally speaking, I wish there wasn't a worry of, oh, I can't say this for worry of this. I think the intent behind what you say means a lot more than what you say, if that makes sense. I don't know. That's as far politically as I'm going to go before I lose half of my subscribers. I don't even think that's political. It's just socially. Anyways, uh, Long Rider, if one of the big three is going to make a cropped APS-C camera for wildlife, it truly needs to be high end with a stacked sensor and top notch processing. And I believe that's what the R7 is going to be, or that's the idea. The 7 line was always their flagship. So again, that makes me not worry as much about that makes me not worry as much about um, about the smaller lenses as far as that goes, because it's high end supposedly. I mean, if since we're talking about it, we can go over it a little bit. They have supposedly it's going to have a BSI sensor. I mean, from the last that we heard, as far as like a timeline that I have in my head, I think it was around last August or September we heard. Excuse me. There was very few news that we had been hearing about an APS-C line. The R7 was pretty much completely dead as far as anybody's thought process was concerned. Um, the R7 was supposedly being prototyped and everything back, I think, pre-pandemic. So people said that there was one out in the wild. It was essentially the same body as the R6, very similar capabilities, and that's kind of what was supposedly being worked on. But then all the different madness happened, and we never heard anything more about it. People even said that they might not be doing an APS-C camera anymore, and there was a rumor out saying that they were still kind of doing market research to see if that is a good idea. Apparently, they believe it is a good idea because later on, that was said from Canon rumors that they were developing a new BSI. I think it was a stacked sensor as well for an APS-C camera. He assumed that it was going to be between 28 and 32 megapixels, and it was supposed to be coming out this year. It was last year, supposed to be coming out this year. And I think he said there was going to be 3 APS-C cameras, and I guess they were all going to be maybe sharing the same sensor. I'm not sure, but I would believe that they would bring out the highest end first to recoup some of that R&D that you get from some of the R&D you get from developing a sensor. And also, it would make the most sense if you're not going to develop new lenses right away to be able to give at least the benefit of a fast APS-C camera, even on in the cropped lenses. My thoughts. I don't know. Okay, John. Good to see you, man. I'm hopefully we'll still be here. If you can come back and join us. Thanks for showing up either way. All right, so let's go to this next topic, which is the unless y'all want to chat about something different, it's cool. But let's go to this next topic here. Let's go over to about this new cinema camera that is being registered. It says that Indonesia regulators, authorities saw Canon register what is called a digital cinema camera with the model number ID0157. So it says it could be the Indonesian introduction of the R5C. But that being said, usually they have a similar product number, so this is novel, which no one wants to hear about new novel things coming anywhere. Get it? Never mind. So it says comes a few weeks after rumors of the R5 EOS R5 the C5 Surface. Was it C5 or is it C70 or C50? I think it used to be maybe called the C50. Maybe they're doing C5 now, which would be a cross between the recently released R5C and something with the form factor of the C70. Canon has also had some recent patents applications published that would provide more of a box camera design as pictured above. So I'm confused. To me, the form factor of the R5C is more of a form factor than the C70. So I'm confused on the way. Maybe it's just saying more of a design style of the C70. To me, I'm confused on where a C5 will fit in today's, unless they're wanting maybe a $3,000 cinema camera. Because to me, this R5C and the C70, they're already kind of eating into each other's market. So I don't know where this R5C comes or the C5 comes. Now let's click on the rumors here. Maybe they'll give a little bit more detail on what it's supposed to be. This is the box supposedly patents. This is more of a box style, so it'd be like a modular. You could build it out. Be interesting. So yeah, this is the C50. It was rumored in 2020. They said it was a Super 35 4K sensor. No Ibis, RF mount, internal NDs, 10 stops, C-Log 2 and 3, 10-bit, external kind of stuff. So no RAW. But now it's the C5. It's rumored in 2021. So this is, I guess, the update. It says that camera is a combination of the R5C and the C300 Mark III. Similar in appearance to the R5C, but more square with electronic ND filter of the Eos C300 Mark III, the professional interface of the C70, and an extended battery compartment. The sensor will total of 22.5 megapixels with a sampling resolution of this. It is capable of a perfect oversampling to 4K, so 120 frames per second, making it Canon's current 4K 120 frames per second product with the best image quality. When the frame rate is reduced to 72 frames per second or less, DGO, which is a dual gain sensor mode, is turned on to provide a higher dynamic range. Unlike the current C70, it does not offer RAW recording for now. Full pixel quad. So they're saying this will have quad pixel AF and RAW internal recording in subsequent firmware. This is interesting because I personally do not think that this quad pixel autofocus will be seen until the R1, or at least that's been my thought process. In terms of photography, it no longer offers a mechanical shutter and replaced by in-body stabilization. So this is also interesting because they got rid of in-body image stabilization. So I'm wondering when this came out, if this was maybe before the R5C was fully launched. Because why would they have in-body image stabilization in this and not put in the R5C? I thought that was kind of interesting. Also, usually with in-body image stabilization, you're not getting, or it's been said so far, at least when it came to Sony, said that they cannot make that happen with internal NDs. Now, granted, the RF mount is quite a bit bigger when it comes to the room that's inside there. Maybe Canon can do it. If Canon can do it, then that I think is a big pro for Canon there. But what do you guys think of this new? Do y'all even care about cinema cameras? What do y'all think about the look of it? Let's see what the chat has to say. Okay. Why would Richard said why Richard and Gloria? I'm not sure who I'm talking to. Which one? Why would Canon not provide camera Ibis? Well, there's varying degrees of. I don't know if they're trying to cripple our camera. Let's just say that There's varying degrees of thought process of whether or not Ibis really helps a lot when it comes to cinema style cameras. A lot of times they think that digital zoom or digital Ibis is a little bit better in cinema cameras, and I forget exactly what the reason being. I know part of it is Canon tends to get a little bit of a wobble on the sides when you're moving a lot with the video. I don't know. That's a possibility that's a reason. The other reason would be if internal NDs. Supposedly, Sony said that you could not have or they could not make internal NDs and Ibis work together. So it was kind of like a one or the other type situation. So that could also be a reason. At least as far as we know, as far as I know, there's not been any cinema lens or cinema camera with internal NDs that has also had Ibis. Whether that will change, I'm not sure. To me, it was kind of weird to take it out of the R5C if they weren't going to add internal NDs. I think that they should have done that, but they have to find ways to segment their cameras. Anybody else have any insights on this or have any other questions? There is a lull. I don't want to just be monologuing here, guys. I will say I'll take this time while we're maybe going to get a few more people chatting. If you're here and you have happened to not subscribe, maybe you're a subscriber already. I'm thinking with the people that come to these, they're already subscribers. But if you're not a subscriber, I will say I would very much appreciate this subscription. I don't know, it's kind of it keeps some motivation. I'm not saying it's the be all end all, but when you're seeing your subscriber count go up, it makes you feel like you're doing something. It makes you feel like you're producing something that people are liking and appreciating. So if you're not a subscriber, definitely would hope that you would become one, but only if you like the videos that you've seen from the channel. I don't want you to subscribe and not watch the videos either. So I want you to do whatever you feel is best for your situation. Okay. So Longrider said, I have read if you shoot on a gimbal, Ibis is a moot point. Yeah. Well, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. But I guess that's the question is, would you always want to shoot on a gimbal? If you're kind of wanting to do more, if it's a small form factor, to me, a lot of times you don't want a gimbal. I hate carrying gimbals. I got a gimbal and it was a big waste of money for me. Okay. I'll say I used it on one like main professional shoot and it worked great. I just hate it. I hate carrying it with me. I've tried it different times for different things. It looks professional, but it's not for me. So, you're right. The Ibis is a moot point on that. And actually, as far as I know, most of the time they want you, like if your lens actually has Ibis in it, they want you to actually cut that off because it can kind of supposedly mess with the actual, I can't think of the word term. It will actually mess with the gimbal stabilization. But maybe with cinema cameras, you will be mounting them more on tripods or gimbals. But personally, I think if you're getting a smaller cinema camera, then a lot of times that's maybe more for carrying and running gun type situations. And if it is, then I don't want to carry a gimbal. Just my hot take. I know some people are big on it. David is big. David Osler. Hello. I'm gonna mess it up. Anyways, he's really big on his gimbals. He does gimbal reviews and he has like gimbals everywhere. And maybe if I had like a lighter gimbal and I didn't buy the one I bought when I bought it, maybe I would have a better impression of a gimbal. I mean, I had a little gimbal on an iPad, I need to find that actually. But I had a little gimbal on a GoPro originally. I mean, that was pretty cool. But now GoPros are so steady. Speaking of GoPro, I actually got the new Insta360 RS. So I have not had an action camera since like the GoPro 5 or whatever it was. And so I've not been very interested in it. Uh, longer I said Ostler has shaky hands. He needs a gimbal. That's hilarious. Uh, I don't know if he has shaky hands or not. That's funny. Um, I remember one time I think you were there. Uh, I just felt it felt good that he like said he saw my channel, but at the same time, I kind of like hinted a sense of maybe my channel just wasn't his cup of tea. I thought it was pretty funny because he was like, "I've seen Moving Matt's channel before. It's cool," and he like drank a little thing of beer. Like I was like, he's lying. He did not like my channel. I don't know, but maybe I'm reading too much into the body language. But it just to me, I was like, "Oh, sorry, David, it's not for you. That sucks." Um, anyways, he's a funny guy. I really enjoy his personality. I've always liked what he's offering. He's very good at his live streams. I need to jump on his level. I'm just doing this stuff out of my webcam on my laptop, but I like it. I don't know. I like to be able to communicate and look down, and it's not like I'm just completely having to do this all the time. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm lazy. I need to figure that out. Let's see here. But David's awesome. I wish I could do more interactions with him. Maybe if he liked my channel more. I think I kind of lost my train of thought there. What were you talking about? Oh, I was saying the Insta360. I just got it. It'll be interesting. I haven't had an action camera in a long time. I've always been interested in the 360 shots because I am going to be traveling to places coming up shortly. Sometimes I've noticed that when I'm traveling, I don't enjoy the location as much as I should because I'm trying to like set up the right shots and do different stuff. So it's like I'm not living in the moment and actually just being there. So I do wonder if the 360 will work in a way because essentially you can, so to my knowledge, you can program it where when you're in the editing room, it's been taking a 360 view of whatever you've been recording. So then you can kind of put the story together, in post. And so I do think that is an interesting concept and maybe something that I use quite a bit on my travels. If you're here and you have not subscribed, shameless plug here, you should maybe check that out. Okay, so do we go over most of the main topics? We might want to cut this one a little short. I don't think, unless y'all want to talk about something, just throw some questions out if if y'all have something that's interesting to you guys. But I don't want to just ramble here if you guys are not necessarily into it right now or not necessarily extra stuff to talk about. Let's see here. Let's go to Canon rumors. Let's just see if something happened. No, nothing. Same stuff. Let's see about Sony rumors. Let's see if we get lucky. Come on, let's see if there's something new. Nope, nothing new from Sony Alpha rumors. Fuji, save us. Nope. Guys, that looks like it's about it. Doesn't look like there's much more news to go. Let's see what Nikon has to offer here. No. The camera news is dying. It's just a slow time of the year. All the supply chain issues are going on, and so we can't really expect too much. But I do hope that I'm still able to bring you guys some value as the time is slow here. I'm just trying to mix things up with my channel just to give a little bit of variety and also I don't know, to grow more. I obviously want to be true to the people who supported me here and in the past. Always appreciate everybody, but I also want to continue to grow the community and the channel. So I'm going to be trying to add a little bit more energy in different ways. I think if you haven't seen my Sony lens, I don't know, camera talking about the 16 to 35. I did a little bit more movement in that video, so I think that maybe I will start to try to do something more similar to that, where I bring a little bit more energy to the videos. And so I hope everybody still enjoys it. The bad thing about that video is it has a terrible click-through rate, but the good thing about it is it seems like it's entertaining people, because a lot of people are watching a big percentage of it. Okay, I'm going to sign out here. I appreciate you all taking your time to spend it here with me on this Saturday morning. I want y'all to enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy the weekend. And like I said, I'm just very grateful to all of you. So I'm going to sign out here, because not that much more news to talk about. Thank you for being here. Subscribe if you haven't, and if you want to. Until next time, if I can end it on the peace, I'll love it. Peace.